Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is my bi-monthly reading wrap-up. So I'm going to talk about all the books I read in the month of May and June. Let's start with May. I have read 10 books in May, out of which 5 were physical copies, which is really great for me because I usually read 3 books which are physical and the rest are usually audio or ebooks. We have summer season for most of the time during May, so there are a lot of summer books. The first book I have here is by one of my favorite authors, and it is Emma Lord. And the book is You Have a Match. It's a book set at a summer camp. Our main character Abby has a friend group, and Leo is part of that friend group, and he wanted to take a DNA test. So the entire group takes the DNA test, and then Abby gets to know that she has a sister. So of course as a teenager she wanted answers, so she goes and meets the sister, who her name is Savannah. She is a influencer and she's also going to work at the summer camp, so she invites Abby come there so they can actually spend some time, get to know each other and figure out why their parents kept that secret that they have sisters. The best part about this book is the summer camp and the chaos. Like, it is so chaotic, it is so fun. Like, you know how school teenager trips are full of drama. Like, there's some people are friends with each other, something or the other is going on, there's always some sort of friction, so it is captured perfectly. There's so much drama, there's friend group drama, there's family drama, there are separate friend groups who are having their own dramas, so it is so fun to read. I love Emma Lord's banter, and it was missing in this book. There was some sort of sibling, I wouldn't say rivalry, but that sibling bickering, but it did not feel natural because these two sisters got to know each other like a week ago. So, of course, I don't expect them to bicker like sisters. And it was very awkward and weird to read. And especially since Abby has younger brothers, so it did not feel natural. Like, if she's bickering with her younger brothers, that makes sense. But it's savvy, it did not feel right, especially since the sister relationship was so new and raw. But the revelations were good. There were a lot of layers to the revelations, and I really like that. The romance was not wow, it was very subplot. I did not feel the chemistry. Overall, I wouldn't call this a romance, so it is a good contemporary book. I enjoyed it. Then I read another summer book, and this was set in Europe, and it is The Pairing. Theo and Kit are childhood best friends, and then they also take a chance and actually date each other, but then they break up, and during their dating period, they decided to go on this European tour, food and drinks tour, if I'm not wrong. So it is supposed to be a tour where they can have different sorts of food and know the history of the place through food basically. So they were planning to go there together, but then they break up, so they decide to go individually. Guess what? They both are there individually. So now they are stuck on this tour, and as you can already guess that it is a second chance romance. We get to see the history of food, beverages, and the culture through this book. It is so beautifully written that you will feel like you are actually there and you are actually tasting the food with these two people. All the people on the tour are so sweet. There are all sorts of people. They meet new people wherever they go, and it is like the perfect adventure. There's also a map, and I really like that we get to see the map because it is easy to visualize where they were going. So I really enjoyed the adventure. Then I read a cozy mystery, and it is DM Me for Murder. It's the third book in this cozy mystery series, and I really love that series because it's a beach town. The main character, Coco Klein, is an influencer, and she is using her influencer side to sleuth and figure out murders which take place in her small town. This time, a fellow influencer gets murdered. She was supposed to be Coco's client. So everybody on the internet started blaming Coco for that because the client came to her town to particularly visit Coco. I have said Coco a lot of times, but she did not actually want to get into another murder investigation. But since her name was getting dragged and she wanted to clear her name, so she gets into it. And her friend group is so good. They know that it's a risky situation, but they still go and help her, and they are always there for her. And I really like that. So it's not like she's alone, but she always has somebody who is like looking out for her. It's a perfect book which you can listen to while doing some another hobby like crochet or coloring or doodling or something like that. So it was fun. I think mainly my two favorite genres are murder mystery, not thrillers, okay? Murder mysteries. I love reading about murder. Who done it kind of situations are my favorite. I either read or listen to murder mysteries or romance. Like, those are my favorite books, favorite genres, and sometimes I reach for fantasy. High stakes fantasy, बहुत कम बार. Cozy fantasies I still prefer. That's what you're gonna see. The pattern is there, okay? So after reading couple of rom-coms and a mystery, then I again picked up another mystery, and it was every time I go on a vacation, someone dies. I listen to the audiobook. The first book is where our main character is a mystery author, and she has written a series, and it's the 10th year of her first book's release. So she is going on a Europe tour, another Europe tour, and she has a group with her. Some of them are authors, some of them are related to the story. She wrote the story based on her own experience and her own vacation thrill and adventure, and her manager, who is her also her sister. So we see all the characters. There are a lot of characters, there are a lot of people in the story, and then, as you can guess, somebody dies on the vacation. The way the mystery is written is not usual. Sometimes the main character talks to other characters, and also she's playing the narrator, so she's talking to readers as well. Like, for example, she's saying that, see, we are in the third act now, so I think you should guess who's the murderer by this time, something like that. So it's very fun and interesting and interactive. There are a lot of footnotes. Sometimes they are not that important, like you can skip them, or गलती से हो सकता है skip, but they are interesting. I enjoyed that and immediately picked up the next book, and it is No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding. So her first book was getting adapted into a movie, and the main character, like the main female character in this movie, is the mystery author's best friend. So that's how it starts, where again a lot of people are there who are related to the books, who are related to the movie, and the leads of the movie are getting married, and they wanted to keep it a secret, so they didn't want media to know. So they decide to show that it's like a part of the movie, and they go to an island to get married. So the entire movie crew is there, and then the bride gets a note saying that somebody is going to get murdered. So this is how it starts, and I think I like this one better because the way the story is intertwined and the plots get so crazy. I didn't really expect it to be like that in this book. Since the first book, it was very obvious, and there were few things which I did not really enjoy or like, because the book was written very well. Few things were very silly, and I didn't like that. But this one was crazy. Like, I loved it. I was mind blown at the end. Okay, क्या हुआ exactly? So I absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend this series. Like, it's so good. It's perfect for the vacation reads or even summer reads. So perfect for that time. Then I picked a book which is technically just a romance, but it is set in summer. Though there are not a lot of summer activities in it. Actually, I wanted to read this so that I could read the next book. But anyways, I could only finish this during summer. So I'm gonna talk about it. And it's Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, one of my favorite authors. This one has so many good tropes and so many good character traits. And then another medical condition was mentioned, and it was a major part of the story. So our main character, Jacob and Brianna, they are doctors and they are working at a hospital. So they are co-workers. So workplace romance, and then they start sending each other letters, which is really cute. I really like that part, the initial part. But then there's this thing which I don't know. It is mentioned on the blurb, so I can say it out loud, that Brianna's brother needs a kidney, and Jacob is the perfect match. So he decides to give the kidney, but he doesn't really let Brianna know because he didn't want her to be his friend out of obligation. He actually wanted a friendship. So there's a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication because they both are hiding things. They don't know if the other person is thinking in a certain way just because out of obligation. Honestly, the book is great, but the miscommunication was the huge trope in this book, and that's my deal breaker. I don't really enjoy that. So that's why this is not my favorite Abby Jimenez book. Otherwise, all the other things, like how sweet Jacob was, he had anxiety, so he had hobbies to calm him down, like gardening or journaling, which I really loved. I loved how sweet he was. I loved all the characters. I enjoyed everything except for the miscommunication part, which is why it's not one of my favorite books. But I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited to read just for the summer. But summer khatam ho gaya, so not really khatam. I mean, it is technically rainy season, but ना बारिश हो रही है ना धूप आ रही है. It's so weird. Anyways, so I'll read it during sunny days. We'll see. I recommend this if you don't mind miscommunication trope. Like, or keep in mind while reading this book that there will be a miscommunication trope. Then I read two more summer books. So one is like as if this wasn't enough. So the first is Summer in the City. The main character is a big script writer and she is an anonymous script writer and she likes to keep her identity hidden. She is in New York City for the summer. She's trying to get rid of her creative block and then her neighbor is a billionaire. So it's a billionaire romance next door neighbor set in the city, summer romance. All the tropes are there. I think if you like reading the billionaire romance trope, then you will enjoy this book. I like the adventure in the city part, but it was too typical for me. Like it was a perfect book talk romance book. So if you like those, again, you will enjoy it. I don't personally like where there are those typical scenes which I have read in like a lot of romance books, and at this point, I don't want to read same thing again and again. Like कुछ तो twist दो कुछ तो अलग करो. Why am I reading the same things? Like why are they crashing into each other? Then she thinks that he is some sort of a wall. Why? So that I don't really enjoy. I mean एक बार पढ़ा ठीक है, दो बार पढ़ा ठीक है. Every book में it's there, then it will get annoying, right? So that's what it is. But if you like that kind of a book, you will enjoy it. If not, skip it. I don't want you to get annoyed as well. See, that's what it is. And the next book was called What Not to Do on a Vacation. It was a very sweet women's fiction contemporary book. So these three sisters go back to their childhood summer beach house to relive those moments and to mend their relationship in some sort because they have not been the same since their parents' divorce. The main focus is on the three sisters' relationship. At the same time, we see their own personal issues and personal growth, as well as there is some romance subtropes. So I really like to read all the three sisters' stories. They were so interesting. So many things were happening. They were all trying to figure out their life. Set in a beach town, there were so many summer activities because they used to do those activities during childhood years, so they decided to do them again, like a sandcastle competition. There were so many summary activities. I really enjoyed that. I highly recommend that book because it was a different summer book, but the vibes were there. There were more than one love story. Enjoyed it. And the last book which I read was not a summer book because it started raining here. So I decided to pick a book which is perfect for that cozy, gloomy weather. And it was Age of Enchantment by Anna James. It is the first book in the Chronicles of Weatherby series. This one is technically set in spring, which I didn't really know. कवर से थोड़ी पता चलता है कि कौन से सीजन में सेट है, and especially it was written on the back that the main character goes to the school. So I thought it's a year around the book, but it is particularly set in spring. In this world, everybody has one season's magic. Every person has either summer magic or spring magic, but the enchanters have magic of all the seasons and they are very rare. And our main character Juniper is an enchanter, so which they get to know through their trials which they do on the children who are at a certain age. So she is an enchanter, but her twin brother is not, so he has to stay back and she has to go to this town where there's this academy and she has to learn enchantment to be a skilled enchanter because they are very rare. The unique part about this book is that Juniper loves her family. She has a normal family. She loves her siblings. She loves her parents. They have a very happy life, so she doesn't want to leave that and go to another place and live alone or by herself. That's how the book starts. I really like that part, that she wasn't orphan or she wasn't trying to figure out what happened to her parents. I really like that she had unique magic powers and that's why she was chosen to go there and not because she had to, like because of her family situation especially. So I really like that part. The adventure is insane. The magic is insane. Anna James's world building is amazing. Like you will feel like you're reading a high stakes fantasy, because of which I am always scared for her main characters. Like I am scared that they are actually going to get killed one day. And not just this book, but all her previous books as well. So they are like perfect blend of magic, mystery, adventure, and fantasy. I really enjoy them and I really enjoyed this one as well. It was through both the twins' POV, which was different because even though she was the chosen one, his POV was also important to see how he was feeling or how he felt left out. He followed her and he took a apprentice job. So it was a very different, he was on his own adventure and I really loved to see that. Those were all the books which I read in the month of May. Let's talk about the books I read in the month of June. I read total 9 books, and the first book was The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. It's her newest release. I always read her newest release whenever they come out. Like, she comes out with a book every single year. I have read them since Book Lovers, I guess. That was the summer when I read all three of her books, like first three books, and then every year I read her books in summer. It's a different kind of a book. It's a lit fic plus romance plus mystery. All the plots were there. It was a mixed kind of a book. There wasn't a very particularly one single plot. I think I have read books with mixed genres. They can be really good if they are done well. So I was a bit disappointed when I read this because the literature part, like the literary part where we get, okay, so what is happening in this book is that these two main characters are writers and they want to write a biography of this famous woman, Margaret. They are competing for this position where they can get to write a book about her. They go to a town and they are spending 1 month there. She is telling them both some bits and pieces of her life, and then they are going to pitch their idea after a month. That's what is happening. But of course, there's a romance since these two characters keep on meeting each other in this small town, and then the romance takes place. It was dry. I mean, I think they could have been best friends, but I could not see the spark or the chemistry at all. I did not enjoy the romance part. Neither did I enjoy the literature part of it. I was so not interested in Margaret's great grandfather's life. Since it was about her, I was expecting to read about her life and not her ancestors' life. So it was like everybody got equal amount of pages. I wasn't interested in it, and which almost put me in a reading slump. It's like 400 pages long book. The mystery was good. I wouldn't say it wasn't, but it wasn't worth reading so many pages, especially the first 300 pages was so boring that I almost thought of DNFing the book because it was putting me in a reading slump, basically. So, if I'm going in a reading slump to just to read this particular mystery, which is in the last 50 or 100 pages, then it is not worth it, in my opinion. Sadly, my least favorite Emily Henry book, but I hope that I love her next book. Then I did a 24 hours readathon, so I read some books in there. It was a mystery thrillers readathon. So gonna talk about that. If you want to see in-depth thoughts and reactions on these books, then you should go and watch that video. But I'm gonna quickly summarize what I have read. So the first book which I read in that video was What Lies in the Woods. It's about Naomi Shaw and her friends. It was a group of three. They used to enjoy going in the woods and play their games. But one day Naomi gets attacked, and when she was 11, so she was a child basically, and she gets attacked, but she lives, and they put away the person who was responsible for it, a serial killer. It's been 20 years since then, and a new tragedy strikes, and now Naomi wants to know, okay, what is going on. She's trying to find out some answers. It starts slow as we get to see what their lives have been since the tragedy, how they are coping with it, if they still have PTSD, and then she's trying to figure out what is happening. It starts off slow, but then the last 150 pages, the plot twists keep on hitting, and it was so good. It was very eerie and creepy, and it is a perfect thriller. Then I read The Tenant by Frida McFadden, and I think I missed one book. I think I missed a book which I read in May. It was Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden. It was, I don't even remember what it was. Okay, yes. So our main character does something bad, and now she's on the run, and then she stays at this motel where things are very creepy. There's one room which is constantly closed. Nobody is supposed to go in there, and things start going wrong. That's what is happening. The book is fast paced. I think there are a lot of things which are repetitive in all Frida McFadden's books. I think most of the books have multiple POVs, and we don't get those POVs like alternatively. Like, we get one POV in the first part, then we get the second POV in the second part. So because of which a lot of things are repeated from the other person's perspective, and due to that the books feel repetitive. Sometimes it's good because you can quickly get through the second part. It's like, okay, now let me just tell me what's the end, what is happening, and we see a lot of different POVs. So many things go wrong. There are so many crazy insane people in that book. I really enjoyed that. It was really good. It was a very quick thriller, and I love that about Frida McFadden, that if you want a palate cleanser or if you want to read something binge worthy, then her books are perfect for that. The Tenant was the same. It gave me a little bit of housemaid vibes. This is her only book where the book is from a guy's perspective. This guy is living in a big house in Manhattan, and then he loses his job as a vice president in a company. So he's jobless, and then he has to pay mortgage. He and his fiance get a tenant, and the tenant is a beautiful young girl, and things start going wrong. I think this one was okay, but at the same, it wasn't very binge worthy or creepy. It was like something is off. Like that's what the feeling was. Some of the things were crazy. Like it is too far fetched, but if you are reading it from a thriller's point of view, like okay, it wasn't thrilling, and the ending again, she knows how to concoct a ending which is insane and crazy and nobody can ever guess the things. Some of the things, okay, they were kind of obvious, so I enjoyed that one. Then I read the Truly Devious series, all the three books. I'm going to talk about them one by one. So it is about the main character Stevie Bell, who is obsessed with murder mysteries and true crime mysteries, which is why she is obsessed with this cold case which took place in 1936. So murders took place at this school, which is was talented and extraordinary student. One person was convicted for this murder, but then Stevie Bell thinks that it wasn't the correct person and the mystery is still unsolved. She decides to go there, like she wants to get in, and she gets in, and now she is in the school and trying to figure out what happened in the 1930s. School is situated on a secluded mountain. There are a lot of different small buildings. It has that perfect vibe of dark academia. Even though it's not dark, it is kind of a light academia. The descriptions are good in a way that we get a clear visual idea of what is going on and how everything will look on screen if it ever gets adapted, honestly. But then sometimes the descriptions got in a way, I'm not gonna lie, it was too much. Like it was putting me off sometimes. Like I wanted to keep the book down, but it was a readathon, so I kept on going. There's another mystery which is going on in her current timeline. There are two timelines, so we get to see both the timelines, and a lot of characters are there. So a lot of description, lot of characters. You have to remember everything, which is why I think it's good to binge the entire series in a go, because the original cold case gets solved in over the course of three books. So it is important to read all the three books in one go. This one was my least favorite out of all the books because we get introduced to a lot more characters, and it was not my favorite part. I just wanted to know कि क्या हुआ. I just wanted to know the mystery part of it. But for that I had to get through this entire book. There were a few things which were again slowly the mystery gets revealed, and I like that in a way, but it wasn't that crazy. And the last book where the mystery gets solved, it gets little bit crazy because they get cut off from the mainland because there's a snowstorm and not a lot of people are in the school. The group gets very small, like the number of people who are at the school. This is done really well in terms of the mystery. Lots of clues are given throughout the mystery, so it is like something which you can actually solve. I wish it was a duology, it would have been perfect. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it, and I'm thinking about reading the next two books, which are standalones. They have the same sets of characters, or rather, the main character is same. That's what I know. So I'm planning on reading those, but I don't know when I'll pick those up. We'll see. Then I listened to Homemaker. It is a cozy mystery where Prairie Nightingale is a homemaker mom of two teens, and she does all the jobs or the duties of homemaker. She is divorced. She started her own business, which I honestly did not get. Okay, what was her business? But it was a homemaking business, anyways. But I really liked the part where she starts sleuthing because the mom from her school goes missing, and now she wants to figure out okay, what happened to the mom. Her name is Lisa. She starts sleuthing. She starts talking to different other. She starts talking to other moms, and then she gets to know what is going on. It is very dangerous because somebody is missing. A FBI agent who's trying to stop her from getting into this investigation, but she wants to do that. There's a lot of discussion about how moms feel and how the parental situation is, what these moms go through, what different women go through. So many relatable points are mentioned in the books, which I really appreciate. There's a pyramid scheme business where Lisa was at a very high position, and other moms were in her downline. Even that part is mentioned, and how all these moms get into such things and what is going on in there. There's some shady sort of business. So we get to see all the things. I really enjoyed the book. I really liked how Prairie thinks and how she does things. I mean, she's not reckless, and I really like that. So overall, I enjoyed that book, and I am excited to see what she does next. I listened to Homicide and Old Days, where the main character Mindy Diaz is working at a laundry place where a bride comes with her bridal gown and she wants to get it altered. Our main character, Mindy, did not know that this person is going to marry her ex husband. So she takes on the job, and then what happens is that she gets to know about that, and then the bride gets murdered. So Mindy is one of the prime suspects since she is the ex-wife. So it gets chaotic, it gets insane. There are a lot of different characters. I love how Cozy Mysteries have insane characters and some cute, quirky, found family kind of a vibe giving characters, and I enjoyed all the different aspects of it. But the murders were interesting. It was kind of obvious in the end, but it took our main character a lot longer to figure out than me. But I enjoyed it. And the last book which I read was Everything's Coming Up Rosie. Rosie is working in theater for her entire life. That was her dream job. She's about to hit 30s, or she's in her 30s, and she hasn't really done anything which is worth being proud of. So she wants to do something which is really good, but then she doesn't have any job. So there's a chance that she has to go and stay with her mom, and maybe she thinks that she is a failure, so she's applying everywhere, like whatever job comes up in theater, so she wants that. And she gets a job to direct a play, Cinderella. So she decides to go there. She accepts it because she has nowhere to go, nowhere to be, and no other job. So she decides to do that. But then when she goes there, she realizes that it is at a retirement community and play is going to be with bunch of old people. So she is shocked. She's little bit ashamed that she was supposed to do big things, bigger things, and she is doing this. So she is ashamed. She doesn't really talk about her failures and struggles with her friends. Even though her friend group is so good, so amazing, she doesn't want to share her failures because she is a people pleaser and she doesn't want to share that with anybody. Like, who wants to share their failures with somebody? So that's how it starts. We see her personal growth over the summer, from the thinking about quitting the job to taking upon the challenge and doing the job exceptionally well. We see her growth. I loved her character, all the other characters which were present at the retirement community. Her bond with every one of them was different, and I really liked that. My favorite character was Arthur's, and I will remember that book because of him. He was so sweet, so nice. He was the person she really needed in her life at that particular stage, and he was there like a god, honestly, or rather her fairy godfather. I absolutely enjoyed it. It was really good. Last year also I read this author's book. It was The Summer of Yes. Beautifully written book. You need to read her books if you love reading about life, people around you, community in general, like the essence of life kind of books which are very rare nowadays. Like, people don't really read such kind of books, they just read. Even I read such books, like just typical rom-com. I really like to read such books. In between, there are other books where all the other aspects are discussed in a very contemporary way. It was really light and fun at the same time, so I really enjoyed it. These were all the books I read in the last 2 months. Let me know if you have read any of these books, or if you are planning to read any of these books. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye.